Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pod's Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Campbell, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour, and we're excited to take your calls at 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. Well, Jade, I want to kick off the show with a correction to a call I took yesterday. Many of you reached out. Thank you for that. And we took a call from Angela, and she had a HELOC. She wanted to use a 401k loan to pay off the HELOC, and so we were walking her through why this is a bad idea, and the advice remained that she shouldn't do it. But my explanation of why was incorrect.
That's all right.
So I want to make sure that we educate our folks out there on why the 401k loan is a terrible idea. So the idea here is I'm going to take money out of my 401k and pay myself back with interest of, 5%.
Right.
Already not tracking because you have to use your own money to pay yourself that interest, right?
Right.
The big issue here is that you're unplugging all of the growth of that money. Compound interest was working for you. The S&P 500 average rate of return, 10 to 12% since 1928.
Yes.
And so you are missing out on all of that growth, which is only going to hurt you down the line in retirement. Number two, it puts you in a very precarious situation because now we're dependent on our employer. Because if you leave that job for any reason, you get fired, you switch jobs, that loan now becomes due. The IRS sees that as a withdrawal. So now it's due within 60 to 90 days. You've got to come up with all this money, or else it's a withdrawal, and now you've got a 10% penalty. Your tax rate on top of that adds insult to injury.
Ooh.
So it's a very, very scary situation. And to make it worse, you're using after-tax dollars.
Yeah, come on, George.
To put the money back in because you're using your net income to repay the loan and interest. And so it's a very tax-inefficient way to put money into your 401k. And so I know people feel like they're backed into a corner. My only option was to borrow from the 401k. You have other options. And the debt snowball works. And most people, they go for the debt consolidation. They go for the HELOC in times of need. Your emergency fund is there to prevent you from having to go back into debt.
That's right.
Ever again.
That's
right.
right.
That's why we tell you to get to baby step 3 with gazelle intensity to avoid that mistake.
I love that. Yep. Baby steps 1 through 3 are all about the intensity so you can avoid situations like what George just mentioned.
Absolutely. So there's my correction. I apologize for getting that wrong yesterday. I will tell you it won't happen again, but I'm a fallible human being, and I wish I had all of the Wikipedias in my head. But sometimes, in a radio show, you're doing it live and you slip. So
Man, George,
apologies to Angela and to the listeners out there. We're going to do better for you.
What kind of guy is this? Come on, George.
Listen.
This is what I'm talking about. I love the integrity.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you. Well, let's get to the phones. Michael awaits us in Fort Lauderdale. Michael, welcome to the show.
Fort Lottie.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How can we help?
So currently just looking to become more financially independent. Been taking great strides ever since getting out of college. I'm 29 now. Own a house. It has about $210K on the note left. Have a car loan of $35K on that end. But the home itself is now worth, I would say, close to $760K.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So, I bought it for $310 when I was 24 and put another 180 into renovations into it. And so, it's got equity there.
Way to go.
I currently have about $370K in stocks and as well as bonds.
Single stocks?
Yeah, single stocks.
Okay.
I'm currently making a career change at this current moment as well. I was making roughly around $180,000 to $200,000 a year working for an employer. I'm actually switching careers to the construction industry, going to take a $100K pay cut, basically, to learn that industry in order to eventually open up my own thing. So I'm kind of in between crossroad paths right now.
So how can we help you today?
Right now I had a vision of and I guess biggest thing is my home was either to sell it or I was going to convert it over to an Airbnb just because of another financial investment opportunity for me. And that's really where I'm stuck. Do I sell it, take the equity and pay off the note, and take the equity and potentially go invest in something else or put more towards stocks or my future career?
I mean, you've got a lot of options here. For me, the first thing I'm going to look at is clearing out all of the debt and making sure that you've got the right amount of savings in place. So you mentioned having the $370K in stocks. Do you have any liquid money, any liquid cash just sitting around that would be, usable for an emergency fund?
So liquidity wise, I have about 35 to 40K.
Okay.
So
you could pay the car off today.
Yep.
So you're saying to pay the car off today?
Yep.
Yeah. And then your next goal would be have 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And I would sell enough stocks to do that. And long term, I'm selling, obviously you need to look at the tax implications and do this wisely with a tax professional. But I would sell those stocks and bonds and put it into index funds and mutual funds instead. Because you can lose your butt in an instant with that kind of volatility. So that's one way to keep the wealth that you've built. You've done an amazing job. And you're talking about you want to be financially independent, which means your money makes you money, more money than you make. That's the goal, right?
Correct.
So where you have cash flowing assets through your index funds, mutual funds, real estate. And I want you to do that all without debt. And so your goal would be, if you sell this place, to buy something that's reasonable in cash would be an awesome goal. Mm-hmm. Because then you can really start maximizing retirement.
I agree with what George is saying wholeheartedly, but I will say it kind of feels like you're trying to do the most. Like you're trying to do everything you've ever heard of to do at one time. And I think that if you kind of just slow down a bit and lay out all your cards on the table and go, okay, let me make sure you can still get to where you want to go. We want to make sure you get there the wisest way. And I think just kind of slowing down and looking at what your scenario is, where you ultimately want to be, and then just taking those steps, step one by one, to actually get there. And I agree with George, getting that debt cleared out. And if you want to sell the house, fine, taking that money, buying something else in cash, making sure that you've got that great savings, 3 to 6 months saved up in liquid cash, and also clearing out those stocks for sure.
And I would be working with a financial professional if you're not already. You can connect with a SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com. And one thing to think about is focusing on tax-advantaged retirement accounts and not just that brokerage account with those stocks, because that's another way you're able to really build wealth down the line. The brokerage account can be a piece of that puzzle to help you retire early and be financially independent. And you're on the path, man, but one way to do it, stay out of debt and build wealth and use all of that income. Your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. Use it, maximize it. You're on the path, my friend. This is The Ramsey Show.
We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Well, about this time of year, we get flooded with calls on The Ramsey Show because everyone's looking for a fresh start with their money. So if that's you, you can't wish for things to change and just expect it to happen. You've got to do some different things with your money and have a plan. And we teach you that plan in Financial Peace University. This is the course that will help you rethink how you manage your money. You're going to learn our proven plan to beat debt and build wealth. Plus, you'll have access to our financial coaches to help you every step of the way. Nearly 10 million people have now taken FPU, followed this plan, and changed their lives, and you can do it too. Today's the perfect time to start. That's because right now we're offering FPU, get this, just $69.99. That's wild, but it's only through the end of the month. So time is running out here. This year, you can have more peace in your finances and your life. Don't wait. Get this limited time offer on FPU at RamseySolutions.com/deal. That's RamseySolutions.com/deal.
I don't know, George. I think some people need to make the move today. Like, they got to go today.
Well, they have good reason to, and it's because you have signed up to lead a virtual Financial Peace University class, and you're trying to break a Guinness record here.
Yes, George.
With the most amount of people signed up.
Look, before we started working here at Ramsey, my husband and I, we coordinated classes all the time. And so I know what happens when you have the right amount of inspiration, the right amount of motivation, the right kick in the pants that you need to get going. And I'm hoping that by coordinating this class, people will feel that and they will really start to change their lives. I mean, look, you don't need to be in my class to change your life, but if you have the opportunity, I'm just saying you should take it. So I am coordinating a class, and that class starts March 1st. So if you are on the interwebs and you can see this little QR code, I want you to click the code. I want you to sign up. We're meeting twice a week. All I'm asking, George, is for 1 hour of your time for each of those nights. So it's just 2 hours a week.
5 weeks?
5 weeks.
This is accelerated.
It's accelerated. It's super fast. Maybe in the past you've heard of a 9-week class or, 9-week course. We're going to do this thing in 5 weeks. You are going to be a supercharged, what is that anime where they power up? You're going to just be powering up on financial peace, financial literacy. Guys, I'm
pumped. And you're doing this from your house.
You are going to get an insight into the home of Jade Warshaw.
I cannot wait.
You might see my son.
We're going to see what you're eating for dinner. It's going to be great.
Don't ask me what I'm eating for dinner, George. Well, it's going to fire the people up.
If you're listening and you're like, well, what is this QR code? Hey, you can go to this link. You can always pause it and write this down. FPU.com/1159611. 1159611.
And I'll just add in, a lot of you guys have probably signed up for FPU before, but I'm not trying to put you on blast, but you never opened the course.
Ooh.
You never clicked
Shots
start.
Fired.
If you did that, you can still join my class. You just have to choose it as the one that you're joining as long as your FPU is still valid. So
yeah, accountability is the key. And I feel like Jade's the kind of instructor coordinator that will call you out by name if you're not there.
Yep.
And
I'm going to be like, Phil
like
Smith?
That.
Phil Smith, did you do your budget? Jim Jones?
Phil's not there. He's getting called out.
He's getting called out.
I love it. I feel like this is the year where we go, listen, buying the thing isn't enough. We need the accountability. And
yes.
I don't have friends and family that is on this journey with me.
That's right.
We are here for you. We want to be those accountability partners.
Yeah.
Bring some friends along for the ride, too. It'll be a blast.
I love it. Come on, George.
Let's go. All right, let's go to the phones. Jonna joins us in Medford, Oregon. Jonna, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. How can we help today?
Okay, so I'm 19. My husband is 21, and we live with his mom. And I just found your guys' podcast a couple weeks ago, and so we're trying to follow the baby steps, but I'm a little lost because we have, so much debt, and we want to buy a house. We want to get out on our own, but if we were to follow them in order, we would be paying off debt for years until we were able to buy a house. So I don't know what our next step is.
Well, how much debt do you have?
Well, we have $2,400 that we owe his boss, and then our car loan, which is $19,000, which those are both doable. But then we have $109,000 from his restitution.
Okay. And what's your income? Both of you combined.
Both of us together make $45,000.
Both of you together?
What are you guys doing for work right now?
I just started a new job about 4 months ago, and I'm house cleaning, and he is a chef.
Cool.
A chef.
Are those both full-time or part-time?
His is part-time, mine is full-time, but we're starting to look for a better paying job for him.
Okay, cool. So total consumer debt on paper, you're looking at about $120,000, $130,000 here?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the restitution payments like? How does that work? Is it a certain amount of time, certain monthly payment?
Not really. I mean, we can pay it off for the rest of our lives if we want, but we've been falling behind, but we were doing just $100 a month. And I thought this would be something that like we would pay off until we're old, until I found your guys' show. And I was like, okay, maybe this is possible.
It's absolutely possible. You can absolutely do this. Here's the thing. You guys are 19, you're 21, you're just getting started in life. You're newlyweds, you're living with the parents. You've got time. So I want to start out with that. You know, sometimes it feels like we've got to do everything at once. We got to move out. We got to get a house. We got to get debt free. But I want to just kind of just remind you that y'all are just getting started. You're all right. We're going to give you a plan to get through this. And I think it starts with, number one, your husband getting full-time work and getting that income up. And even with you're cleaning houses. Is there anything, you said you were working for a company cleaning houses? Is that correct?
Yeah.
If you can pick up doing some of that work on the side for yourself to get your income up so that we can start to tap into this debt a little bit. Do you guys have any money saved anywhere?
No, we don't.
No savings. All right.
What's the car worth?
I honestly don't know. It's a 2014 Buick Verano.
Mm-hmm.
I would do some homework to see if that's worth, you need to save up some money to get a beater car, but if you can sell that thing for 19 or 20 and get out of this car loan, well, then we can just focus on paying off the boss real quick, and then we just have this restitution to deal with, and we're going to attack that thing with a vengeance.
That's right.
So do you think that we should pay off the restitution before we start looking to buy a house?
Absolutely. I think that, the way that we teach is by a series of baby steps, and we teach it that way. It's been proven over 30 years this method works. It's helped millions of people get out of debt. So the way we teach it is that baby step one is that you're getting $1,000 saved. So when you get off this call today, you need to get with your husband. What's his name?
Xander. You
need to get with Xander and tell him, hey, thing one for us is we've got to get $1,000 saved quickly. And that can look like you selling stuff. That can look like you picking up extra hours, whatever you need to do to get a quick starter emergency fund, because that's going to give you just a little bit of peace. All right. And then after that, you're going to start working aggressively to pay off all of your debt using the debt snowball method. Are you familiar with that?
The smallest ones first.
That's right. That's right. So here's the thing. Baby step two, it's not a lot of fun. Right, George? And it takes that intensity. It takes people some time to get it done, but you can definitely do this.
And your journey may, be a different one. For Jade and her husband, they had almost $500,000 in debt. It took them over 7 years.
Yeah.
And for you guys, it may take, 4, 5, 6 years to get rid of this restitution, but it's going to be the wisest way to become a homeowner down the line.
And you will become a homeowner down the line. I got to tell you this, and I'm glad that George brought it up. Jonna, my husband and I, we rented. We did not purchase a home together until we were 33 years old. All right. So it takes time. And then, you look at the other baby steps and you think, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. I'm running out of time. That's not true. You have plenty of time. Even if you don't start baby step 4 until you're 35, walking this plan in order is ultimately going to be what's best for you. You're going to have the best financial footing. You're going to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, we did this. And one day you'll have a house. One day you keep walking the steps, you'll be baby steps millionaires, just like so many people.
And you're going to have an incredible testimony to share with others at the end of this road and share your debt-free story. Hang on the line. We're going to gift you Financial Peace University. I want you and Xander to go through this. Even better, join Jade's virtual 5-week class she's starting in March, and that will light a fire under you to get rid of this debt once and for all. We're cheering you on, Jonna. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined by Jade Warshaw. We're taking your calls at 888-825-5225. Let's go to the phones. Andrew joins us up next in Des Moines. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How can we help today?
So my company's offering a one-time election change to my retirement benefits. So currently they fund a pension for me at 4% of my salary, and then it gains interest based on the 30-year Treasury note. And then they also fund 10% into a 401k account. They're proposing to stop funding the 4% into the pension and just add an extra 4% to the 401k. And then the money that's in the pension fund would just continue to grow at that interest rate, and then I'd get 14% into a 401k plan. So I was wondering, I guess, what your thoughts were on maybe which option would be better to choose or stay with. Or
Man, if I woke up in your shoes, I'm switching over to that 401k.
Okay. Instantly.
You're going to have better returns and more control. And so those are just two reasons I like it, because that pension, when you die, it goes bye-bye. That 401k, you can pass down generationally.
That's right. Or if something happens with the company, a lot of times a pension is what goes away as well.
Yeah. And the companies are always, the reason they're doing this is they're getting away from having to manage these pension plans, and the whole world, except for some, government sectors, are switching over to 401ks. So I'd make the move. That's a great benefit they have.
Absolutely.
that was kind of the
they're putting in 14% of their money.
Scared, but
it's not a mandatory.
Of their money. Correct.
Okay. So with this situation, how much are you contributing from your paychecks?
6%.
Okay. And could you bump that up now to 15%?
Bump my contribution up to 15?
Yes.
I could probably go up to 10 based on circumstances. My wife and I are expecting our first child, so kind of just holding back a little more.
That is exciting.
Do you guys have any debt?
I got some side business debt. I do work on the side, so.
How much debt do you have on that end?
Around, 100,000 or so.
Whoa. What's your business bringing in? The side business?
I farm on the side.
Cool.
So,
well, I would focus on, that debt has your name on it at the end of the day, and so I'd be focused on getting rid of that, and even looking at pausing contributions. They're already putting in 15%. So if you went, is that a match, or are they just putting in 14% regardless of what you put in?
14% regardless.
Wow.
Man.
That's amazing. Is it a Roth 401k? Or is it?
I think it's pre or
traditional.
Yeah,
pre-tax.
traditional.
So I think it'll be taxed when it comes out. So
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm focused on getting rid of that debt on the side business, and then I'm ratcheting it up to 15%, which you'll be able to do once those payments are out of your life. Do you guys have a mortgage as well?
No.
Cool. Do you want to be a homeowner someday? Is that part of the plan?
Yep.
Cool. What's your income?
So, around 130.
Is that including the side hustle?
No. So with the side, probably maybe around 170 or so.
Very good.
Awesome. Well, I'd focus on using all of that side hustle money to throw at the debt on top of however much margin you can scrape from your full-time job income.
Sure. Yeah, I just try to keep the business side separate, so I haven't taken my personal anyway over there, but yeah, it's something I could do.
Cool. Well, you have money in the bank for the baby?
Yeah. Yep.
Good. That's what we would call kind of the storm and stork mode, where if you need to pause the baby steps temporarily, pause investing, pause debt payoff, make minimum payments if you don't have enough cash to cover what could be. We just don't know.
Absolutely. You at least want to be able to cover that deductible because you know it's going to cost you that to have
look at
a
that
baby.
max out of pocket.
Yeah.
And that gives you some peace of mind when you
right.
get some medical bills at the end of this. But hopefully everything goes well with the baby. Congratulations, man.
It's exciting.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to Kathy in St. Paul, Minnesota. Kathy, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I bought a cabin about a year ago. My husband and I are both 70, and we don't have any debt. Our house is paid for.
Woohoo!
We have about $700,000 in investments. It's all diversified, and our house is worth $500,000. And we want to spend about $250,000 to $300,000 on. It's going to be a simple cabin. I just don't know where I should take my money from. If I should do a home equity loan or take out some of the savings.
The money that you have, the $700K, is all of it? Is that just a combination of 401ks and IRAs?
Yes.
And that's you said $500K was the house, so $200K in all that retirement fund.
The house is worth $500,000.
Okay, and I'm saying
then,
of the 700, it's 500 of the 700.
Or is that on top of it? So you got
No,
700 in
it's on top of
retirement.
it.
Oh, it's on
500
top
in the
of it.
house. What's your incomes?
Right. About $7,000 a month.
Okay, and what's that made up of?
Our Social Security and our I have a pensions. He's a pipe fitter, and I was in the Army, and we have those two.
Okay.
Do you have any liquid cash?
Together, $7,000 cash. Yeah.
And you have any cash in the bank that's liquid?
Oh, we have about $20,000.
Okay, so we'll call that your emergency fund. We won't touch that.
Yes.
Well, looking on paper, my only concern is that if you guys, I don't want you taking a HELOC or doing anything like that. That puts your home at risk, which at your age, I don't want you guys to do when you're in retirement age. And so the question
equity,
is,
you don't advise a home equity?
no,
Never.
No.
And so the only way I would advise doing this is if you wanted to take that money from your retirement accounts and use it on the cabin, you could do that. Here's the caveat. Are you going to have enough money in that retirement account to live for the rest of your lives?
That's right. That's my question. Because don't I use the bank's money, though, when I do a home equity? I'm using their money.
But you're leveraging your personal residence at the time of that, which there's no need for you to do that, Kathy. You guys have to. No one should do it, but you guys have way too much money to go that route.
Okay.
You don't need to put that kind of risk in your life.
Are you guys able to maybe just rent a cabin for a while every time you want to go over there?
Oh, no, we bought this cabin. I mean, we have a cabin there, but it used to be a chicken coop.
So you said you bought a cabin, but you're going to spend $250 on it. Is that in renovations? Is it?
No, yeah, it's going to be, yes, it's going to be either new build or build on what's there. We don't have that set in stone.
So did you buy the land? Is that what you're saying? Because you keep saying you bought the cabin.
Yeah, we bought 6 acres on a lake in Wisconsin, and it's got a little tiny rundown cabin on it. We paid $150 cash for it.
Okay, and so you're wanting to renovate this cabin essentially, or build something new?
Or build something new next to it. Real simple.
Okay. Are you working with a financial advisor right now or an investment professional?
We have a financial advisor, and she told us to do a home equity loan with a line of credit.
You need to fire your financial advisor, Kathy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I want you to go onto RamseySolutions.com, and I want you to click on the trusted services, and I want you to get with somebody who's going to have the heart of a teacher and help you through this, because you've got the money to do this. You just need an investment advisor to kind of help you see how you can access that money without, with the least amount of hit to you, and make sure that you're okay in the future, since this is your big nest egg.
And Kathy, the way I look at this, if you have $700 in retirement, let's say you take $200 out for the cabin, that leaves you with $500 in retirement. So if you take a conservative withdrawal of 4%, that's $20,000 a year. It's about $1,600 a month, plus the $7 you guys are bringing in from Social Security and pension, right?
Right.
So the question becomes, are we okay for the rest of our lives living on $8,600? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, 8,600. Yep.
Well, it reduces your risk. You'll have no payment because you're not taking out any loans. And so that's the route I would go, but I would first consult with one of our SmartVestor pros to maximize the wealth that you guys have built before we jump into this dream of having the cabin. But I'm pulling for you guys. I hope we can make the numbers work and hope you guys get to live that cabin dream real soon. Thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're a new listener to the show and you want a deeper dive on what we're all about, what are these Ramsey baby steps? What is my next step? Well, we have a great tool for you at RamseySolutions.com. Just click on the Get Started button and we will figure out what the right next step for you is on that financial journey based on where you are today. That's RamseySolutions.com and click on Get Started. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kyle is up next in Baton Rouge. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Doing great. What's going on with you?
So 2 years ago, my wife and I, I'm 25, we bought our first home, and a hurricane came through, and we didn't have a good coverage for our roof because it was the age of it. So we got an SBA loan. It's about $10,000, 3 years deferred payment, 1.5% interest. Right now, I'm contributing 20% to my 401k, and we're saving. We have about $20,000 in savings. My question is, I just got a raise. We're making about $140 collectively. Should I increase how much I'm contributing to my 401k, lower my taxable income? We get more money, in the long run, 7-10% stock market, or should I focus on paying down this SBA loan?
Great question, Kyle. Well, we'll give you the short answer, which is I'm paying off that SBA loan today.
Me too.
Okay.
And then you'll still have, half an emergency fund left over. And I would also lower the 401k contributions for now. And you guys are 25. You got plenty of time. There's other goals you guys need to save for, right? Are you're homeowners now?
Yeah. We are homeowners now. First kid back in September.
Awesome.
That's great.
What's left on the mortgage?
$220.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're maxing out both of our IRAs, and we're contributing about 20% to the 401k. And she says that I save too much, but
you're definitely doing great on the saving side.
Really?
Do you guys have any other debt other than this $10,000 SBA loan?
No student loans, no credit card.
No car loan.
She has a car loan that's like $3,000 that I could probably
pay
off today.
Pay it off.
You got the money.
Paid off today.
I mean, wouldn't it feel good? Wouldn't it feel good to free up the payments regardless of what's going on with this interest rate?
Yeah, that's true. It's just the mental jump of seeing the money go, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, you make $140. For you to save up $13,000 with no payments in the world, you're going to do that in a heartbeat.
Lickety split.
That's true.
And so that's
true. That's a really good point.
That's the Ramsey plan. It's the same plan that Jade and I followed to build wealth. And there's just nothing like it. And on paper, you can justify and argue and go, well, the market lost like 18%. So
Correct.
There's no such thing as a guaranteed, I'm going to make 7 to 10 and my loan's only 1.5. Mm-hmm. Man, when you get rid of that debt, that's a guaranteed return right there.
That's right.
So And you had the money. This isn't even a lot of work for you. This is like a few clicks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that input.
And then I'd work on, so if you brought your investments down to 15% of your household income, you'd still, get close to maxing out the 401k. And do you have a Roth 401k?
Yeah, I put 5 of the 20% into that, so it's really only 15 to traditional.
Okay. Yeah, I would, for the future, I wouldn't convert anything, but for the future contributions, I would go all Roth at your age, man, with compound growth, withdrawing all that money tax-free in retirement. You see $1 million in retirement, you actually get $1 million tax-free.
Right.
And so it's, and you don't have to worry about, what are the tax implications going to be? What about my income tax bracket? You pay the taxes today and you don't worry about it. And then focus on paying down that mortgage. How quickly could you pay off $220, making $140 with no payments? Give me a year estimate.
Probably
2 years.
8 years. 2 years? You think so?
Dude, I'm telling you, if you bring your investing down to 15%, you make 140. Could you not, throw close to 100 a year if you don't have any payments and your income continues to go up?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool goal. 2 or 3 years, the house is paid off. What's your mortgage?
Under 30, yeah. Yeah, right now it's $1,300, but I'm paying $15.
Okay. Cool. Well, I would bring your investing down to 15% and then ratchet up the extra on the mortgage. Okay. And by the time you won't even be 30 yet. You'll have a paid for house and you'll be maxing out every retirement account you can get your hands on for the rest of your life.
Ooh, that's a dangerous man right there.
Seriously.
That's dangerous right there. I like it.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Been listening. Y'all recommended.
Oh, well, we appreciate you listening in. Love just young people getting a hold of this stuff, Jade, going,
oh my gosh,
I don't need to wait till I'm 50 or 60 to hopefully have a paid off mortgage and hopefully do this stuff.
Yeah.
Make a great income. They're doing the right things. Once we get this debt gone, and you already have that savings muscle, that investing muscle.
Right. That was his superpower right there. And I get it. He saw that 20K saved and it makes you think, oh, I have security here. But it's a false sense of security when you have savings, but you have debt that outweighs the savings, especially.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Miami, Florida. That sounds nice this time of year. Kevin, how's it going?
Hey there. I'm doing real good. Thank you for having me. It's quite a surprise, really.
You're surprised to get on the air?
Yeah.
I specifically said, hey, don't let any Kevins through, but Jenna was very kind to you today. What's going on?
Thank you. Well, I'm calling because I'm kind of in a good, comfortable situation in my life. Like, I have some money saved. I actually own the place that I live in now. And I'm just trying to, kind of ask, what do I do with the little money that I've saved up? I have a couple, different, assets, but I have a little over 30K, probably maybe 40. And I'm just trying to ask you, I'm 27 and I just really don't know what to do with the money. Because it's in a couple different assets. But,
what kind of assets?
So I have about 19,000 in the stock market, and that's just diversified in SPY and SPY growth.
Are these they're not single stocks? They're index funds or ETFs?
Yeah, no. I have a couple single stocks, but I checked this morning, and it's only about maybe 2,000 in single stocks.
How much debt do you have?
They're not even small cap. So I actually am debt-free with credit cards and everything like that. I've actually never missed a payment with that. But I have about $8,900 in the student loans, and I do have a car lease that is expiring at the end of this year.
Are you going to give it back or buy it out?
Oh, no, I'm going to give it back. I have no interest in buying it out. They always, rip you off.
Well, you already got ripped off, my man. They made their money.
Oh, yeah.
You're not coming out
and then some.
Like a rose on this one.
Yeah, it was $290 a month, so I didn't feel like it was too bad considering the whole Corona thing. Okay,
so you're gonna need a car at the end of this. Do you have money to buy a car?
Yeah, so I also have a little over. I'm about to hit about 9,000 in the savings.
Okay.
And then I also have some assets in gold and silver that are actually up a little bit.
How much could you sell that for?
To be honest, I don't really want to sell it because it's my second savings account almost. I don't know, like I think of it as like my second retirement account.
I'd rather you're going to make way more money in the stock market than you are hanging on to the gold and silver. I mean, if you look at the return on these things over the years. So
I'm actually up over 1,000 now. I bought it last year when it was about 17 something on spot price.
But George is talking about long term.
Man, I want you to build real wealth long term. So you got the student loans. Any other debt once this lease is out?
No, and I am considering paying it. My struggle is that because I live in the place that I own and there's no interest accruing on the student loans, I have trouble rationaling paying any of it even at the moment until they reenact the interest on it.
That doesn't make any sense. You want to take advantage of the fact that it's interest free. You don't want to wait until there's a fire for you to get out of the house. You need to get out of that student loan house now.
I'm cashing out of these stocks.
Yes.
And I'm cashing out of the silver and gold, honestly, and I'm getting rid of the student loans. We're going to buy a used car with cash, and that makes you completely debt free with some money in the bank. So that's you called this show, you're going to get our advice.
That's our advice. We're sticking to it.
You can build wealth a lot of ways. We just have chosen this path because it works every time, man. Thanks for the call. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to Jade Warshaw and all the folks in the booth and you, America. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back real soon.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. From the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am your host, Jade Warshaw. I am joined by George Camel. We've got a great show for you guys today. Hey, be sure to call in today. The number is 888-825-5225. We'd love to take your calls about your life and your money. And hey, if you're a new listener and you want to just dive deeper into the things we teach, the Ramsey baby steps, Ramsey principles, check out RamseySolutions.com and click that Get Started button. We want to help you figure out what the best next step is for your financial journey based on where you are today. That's RamseySolutions.com. Click Get Started. And hey, one more thing. If you like this show, can you consider liking it, sharing it, passing it along? We would love if you did that. It costs you nothing. Let's go to the phone lines. We've got Tim from Jefferson City. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing good. What's going on?
So my wife's been talking about Dave Ramsey and y'all for a long time. Recently, we sold our house 100% out of debt because of that. We have 6 figures sitting in our savings account, and I am just terrified to do anything with it. I know what I'm supposed to do with it based off of what y'all teach, but I'm afraid to the point where I can't even tithe at church. We both make a good living. I don't know where this fear is coming from, and I don't know the right next step in order to get out from behind this.
Do you think it's because you've just never seen that much money sitting in an account at one time? You just don't want to mess it up? Is that what it is?
No, I never had any money. I was never good with money until I met my wife and we got married. She took over finances. Mm-hmm. She's a phenomenal saver, and we've been close to that in the past. But I've always just bled money, and now that we have no debt, and I have 2 kids, and we're both as good off as we've been in our careers.
So what do you think the right next step is? If you were to use this money today, what would it go towards?
I don't know. We both have good cars. We have a roof over our head that we're renting. Our kids are all in nice clothes.
How much is it?
I don't know. How much is what?
How much is the amount sitting in the account?
Oh, it's just over $100,000.
$100. Okay.
So would the next step for you guys, does that include your emergency fund in that $100,000?
That's close to everything. We probably have like 110 total.
Okay. So aside from the emergency fund, your next step, if you want it to be, is home ownership and using that money as a down payment.
Right.
Are you guys investing currently?
Yeah, my wife has a 401k and I have my Roth, and we both have pensions with our work. And that's the thing. We're in the military and we don't know how many moves we have left.
Mm-hmm.
So you're moving every few years. So you're like, hey, let's just rent, and we're going to be here for
Correct.
2 or 3 years. We're going to move somewhere else. Let's keep renting.
So
correct.
Essentially, I mean, like what George said, if you can kind of separate the 6 months of expenses, because in your case, I would keep it at 6 months, and then just make sure that, because for all intents and purposes, you're at this point on baby step 4. If you're investing 15% and you're not quite ready to buy a home yet or go on to a further step, after the 15% invested, you can just sit on that money for a while. Make sure if maybe in the next 5 years, if you have a plan, to maybe purchase at that point, let it sit in a high yield savings account for a little while. But if hey, this is like I'm in the military, or this is our plan for a long time, more than 5 years, then it might be smart to get with a SmartVestor Pro and see if it's worth investing that money so that, you can gain on it and gain a great interest rate. How does that sit with you?
It makes sense. It's just scary. I don't know why. I'm just afraid to make money moves.
Look, here's the thing. Look at where you're at now. I feel like you're kind of stuck in the past on all this stuff that you did in the past, and that's dead and gone. Look where you're at now. You have no debt. You've got paid for cars. You're living in, you're renting, you're making good choices, and you got a virtuous woman next to you who's helping you make good choices. You're sitting pretty, dude.
Yeah, I married up.
You married up. Yeah. And just rest in that. You're doing good.
This is not all on your shoulders to decide where every penny goes. This is a marital decision we're making as a team based on our shared vision, our shared goals. And like Jade said, you don't have to make any decisions today.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing. It can sit there. I would rather it sit in a high yield savings account, which is, by the way, going to be, FDIC insured. The money's safe, up to $250,000 per person on the account. Mm-hmm. And so you're good. This money's not just going to disappear. You're not going to go to Vegas tomorrow. And so I'm sleeping better at night instead of worse.
I know that's right. And you're the one who called in the show. You made a good choice. So put that, since you're keeping score, it sounds like, on your good choices versus bad choices, put a little check box next to the fact that today you made a great choice. And tomorrow you're going to make good choices, and the next day, and the next day. You're doing good.
And
you're doing real good.
There's only 3 things you can do with that money, Tim. You can give it, save it, and spend it. You mentioned you're having a hard time even letting some of it go, but there is such beauty and freedom in having an open palm and going, you know what? I'm going to give a little to my church, to the offerings above tithe. I'm going to give a little to an organization. We're going to do that regularly. We're going to allocate some of this for a vacation or a cool experience, whatever it is. And then the rest we can go, we're just going to keep saving. And that helps you feel a little more balanced versus leaning one way or another, feeling out of control.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good call. I think people face that a lot, when you've had this background where it's like, oh my gosh, I've never done good things with money. I just make all these bad decisions. And then before you know it, George, you look up and it's kind of like, wait a second, I did something right. And then you did another thing right. And then you did another thing right. And before you know it, you are good at money.
Well, and there's such wisdom in having a little bit of that caution and fear when it comes to having that pile. Most people are going to go, sweet, a pile of money in the bank. Let's go spend it. Let's go get an $80,000 car. Instead, Tim's going, we worked really hard for this, and I've never been in this position, and I'm just a little bit nervous. And over time, you're going to get more comfortable being in this financial situation. Your incomes are going to continue to go up. You're going to continue saving. You're going to start saving for your kids' future education and college. You're going to pay a house off one day. And so this is just a milestone in the journey. So celebrate it, have a plan for it, budget it, but don't lose sleep over it either.
That's right. And another good thing about that call that I kind of want to call out for other people, a lot of people sell their home and it's like, okay, I've got this money sitting here. And the temptation is to want to invest that money because you think, oh, if I can just put it in the stock market, maybe
I'm not even beating inflation, Jade.
Yeah. Well, they want to invest it and think that maybe they can get, a bigger return, but they want to buy a house in the next 2 to 3 years. And it's kind of like,
if the market did what it did last year,
you're hurting for certain.
You didn't make money with your money invested. And we talk about the stock market being a long-term game, a long-term mindset. And over time, consistently, we've seen you will make money in the stock market. But if you have the mindset of, well, I just don't want it sitting in a savings account or checking account, so I'm going to throw it into the stock market, that's a recipe for disaster. You're
sure
jumping
is.
off the roller coaster too early, my friends.
It sure is, and you're going to be a little bit disappointed at what you find. So yeah, park that money in a high-yield savings account, and when it's time, you'll have a nice little nest egg saved up there. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. This is George Campbell sitting next to me, and we're taking your calls. America, 888-825-5225. Call in with your questions. We've got Madeline here on the line from Atlanta, Georgia. What's going on, Madeline? Madeline.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you?
Madeline.
Oh, it's Madeline. I was right the first time.
It felt like a
You're
Madeline
right the
to me.
first time. I do, really?
Yeah, you get the vibe.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, I want to say my husband and I, he's here listening. We've been following you guys, I want to safely say since, August of last year. His brother-in-law, his brother told us about you guys, and we're like, but then we finally, dabbled, so here we are.
I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you. We have a very, what I guess everybody says your situation is unique, but ours is unique to us. I just turned 30. My husband's 35, and we have 3 children from 8, just turned 3, and 9 months.
Nice.
And we were looking at purchasing our first home and then going the traditional route. And then that's when we discovered that my husband, Anthony, actually does not have credit. His credit score is a 0. And then the only debt that he has is probably totaling up to maybe $3,000, maybe. Just personal things here and there that we could honestly knock out with a paycheck. Okay. And then with me, I just have student loans and then a vehicle from a previous relationship that's actually kind of tied up in a court situation. So that'll take care of itself within a little while. So technically I only have student loans. We've been going through the baby steps, and while we did do baby step 1 and start on baby step 2, both of our children needed some dental work. One needed braces, one had to get, cavities. Uh-huh. So that's what our savings went to. But I was a little upset, but my husband's like, that's an emergency fund, and that's what it's there for.
Amen.
So we're building back up our savings, and, we're probably maybe 500 towards the 1,500 mark.
Okay.
But because I've never heard of anybody not having credit or, surviving this long, if you will, with no credit cards or nothing.
Yeah.
And again, my husband is the only one working because we don't see the point of childcare at the moment. So I'm taking 2 years off because I was also working full time.
Okay. So how can we help you today?
We just want to know what is the direction that we should actually go. We're in a position to where we can either turn this into a really great situation because we technically don't have a whole lot of debt, or we can just foobar it.
Well, I thought I heard.
Outside of the student loans and the $3,000.
Well, that's what I was getting to, because I could have swore I heard you say there was $3,000 and there are student loans. How much are the student loans?
So my student loans total up to $32,000.
Okay.
I've been making payments on and on, and then on and on, and I'm currently in a forbearance period that is scheduled to be up. I have to look, but I think I come out of forbearance in June.
Okay.
So we're going to start making payments on those.
Can you make payments earlier?
I definitely could.
Yeah. And what does your husband have student loans or just you?
No, he doesn't. He paid his way through school because he's smarter than me.
So $35,000 of debt total.
Total.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do, Madeline, is I'm walking through the baby steps. You already started that process. I don't want to skip ahead. I don't want to do anything out of order. You had your starter emergency fund of $1,000. Do you still have that? I know the kids had to get braces and whatnot. Do you still have the $1,000 there?
Court to act the middle of February, we will, as long as we stick to our savings plan.
Okay. So we'll get baby step 1 done. Once that's done, then we're going to start attacking your debt using the debt snowball, and we're just going to do smallest to largest. So we'll knock out that little $3,000 deal first, the 32 after that, and we're just going to snowball it. You got to get intense with those payments. What's your take-home pay between you and your husband combined?
Combined, we're looking at probably $62,000 a year.
Okay.
Are those student
Because again,
loans?
I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband works full-time.
Okay.
So are those student loans, are they broken out into smaller loans, or is it one giant 32?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they're broken out into smaller loans. So the
Good.
biggest loan that I have is actually 23, and then there's 3 more that kind of just break
So what's
it
the
up.
smallest one?
The smallest one I have is 500.
Okay, that's the one I want you to focus on. And that's your only goal. You're going to make minimum payments on all the rest of those loans. We're just going to attack the smallest one with a vengeance, with all the margin we can create through our budget, through spending less and making more. And that means that home ownership is going to be on the back burner for a little while, because we have to clean up this $35,000. Then we need to have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then we can start saving up the down payment for the house. So this might be a few years away.
Gotcha. And that's what we were talking about. We wanted to push for it, but at the same time, we're like, 1, with the market being the way it is, and then 2, with us just being like a one-income family, we don't necessarily want to put ourselves in a situation where we're like, oh, we can't afford it, but then it kind of messes up our savings and everything else.
You can afford it until reality hits and life happens, and then you need to do the braces again because they screwed it up, and then the HVAC goes out, and you thought the rent was going to be equal to the mortgage, but it turns out there's property taxes and insurance and home maintenance and repairs, and you can feel the weight of what that would be like in your budget. And so
that's right.
I'm pausing on this, and once you get there and become completely debt-free, the emergency fund, of course, he's going to have no credit score if he pays all this off. Make sure all those lines are closed, and you can do what's called manual underwriting. Our friends at Churchill Mortgage do these all the time. I went through this process myself. It's called a no-score loan.
Yep. I did it, and it works every time.
And you're going to need to have 12 months of rental history of consistent on-time payments. You're going to need to show that you've paid your insurance bills on time every month, your cell phone bills on time every month, your utility bills every time on time every month. And if you have those types of things in your life, Churchill Mortgage will look at you like a real person, like before credit scores existed in the 80s.
That's right.
And they had to go, yeah, you guys have the income to afford this. You've got no debt, so the debt-to-income ratio is amazing.
Yep.
And you have money in the bank for the down payment.
Yeah.
We'll give you the loan.
It's a great call, Madeline. Thanks for the call. Let's take a look and see what's going on here with Nidra. Nidra is here from Washington, D.C. What's going on, Nidra?
Hello. Hi. I was calling because I'm married, but my husband and I recently married, maybe like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And prior to him meeting me, he was already close to retirement. So he has his savings and he has all that going on, all of that. So with me, I make $16.31 biweekly, and what I'm trying to do is find a way in order to save and to get myself out of debt. So I make $16.31 biweekly, and after I get paid, I don't have anything left. I can't contribute.
How much debt do you have?
I have a large amount of debt.
How much?
Total debt, I can give you. Well, my school debt is $70,000.
Okay.
Then I have my car note is $8,604, and then I have credit card usage. I have one account for $434, and the other one is for $4,474.
Ouch.
Okay.
And Then I have like a Bob's Furniture. I had purchased some furniture because we had just purchased a home.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted some new bedroom furniture, and we got that, and that's a balance of $1,538.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nidra, I'm confused. You said you got married, but this sounds like you're on your own in this world.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is he not combined? Have you guys not combined bank accounts? Is he not part of this debt payoff thing?
No, he said he did not want to combine.
And how does that make you feel?
Oh, pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Wait, when he married Nidra, he married all of Nidra, didn't he? Does he know that?
Yes. Yes.
Here's what you guys got to get on the same page with this, because when you get married, is no more me and you. It becomes ours, and you're not going to get far. Even Nidra, if you do this all by yourself, there's going to be a rift and there's going to be a problem there because you guys are not one. So I do want you guys to get with a local pastor. I want you guys to get with a counselor. You've got to get on the same page about this because you're going to start feeling resentful.
How much money does he have in savings?
Yeah, I'm pretty
does
much
he have liquid
there now.
cash?
You said, does he have liquid cash?
Yeah. How much does he have
Like
in the
just
bank?
cash on hand that he can get to?
I think he has some money saved, maybe like $9,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to get away from guessing and wishing and hoping and get real numbers.
Yep.
And if he's not willing to share his bank account with you, I'm not sharing a bed with him.
I know that's right.
How this works. This is marriage. It's what he signed up for.
Yep. You guys got to work together. And until you do, I still want you to dig into the baby steps, walk those baby steps out in order. But Nidra, do not let this go untouched. All right?
This resentment will crush the relationship over time as you're clawing and scratching on your own.
It sure will. Yeah. I want you to work on this, all right, Nidra? Don't forget about it and don't try to do this by yourself. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
This is The Ramsey Show, and in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, we've got Keaton and Liz. They're with us. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Excellent. Where are you guys from?
We are from Dublin, California.
Dublin, California. Mm-hmm. So you're here to do your debt-free scream. I want to know. Tell me everything. Tell me everything. How much debt did you pay off?
So $39,053.18, as she wanted me to say.
Those 18 cents will get you.
That's right. In 11 months.
Wow. 11 months. What was your income during that time? Range of income?
It ranged monthly from about $4,800 to about $9,000 at the end.
Wow.
What do you guys do for a living?
So I work as the director of front of house at Chick-fil-A in Pleasanton, right next to Dublin in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. And then I also work at Chick-fil-A with him. That's how we met.
That's how you met?
Yeah.
A love story surrounded by chicken. I love it.
Blessed chicken.
Yeah. There's plenty of them too, by the way. Like so many people meet there. It's awesome.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Well, they hire amazing people. So the quality of the people, they're like, why look any further? You don't need a dating app. Just go to your local Chick-fil-A.
Boom.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So what happened that, kind of sparked this journey, and what made you want to pay off all this debt?
So
$39,000.
It's a great question. I was looking into Ramsey Solutions before we got married. I knew that we wanted to do it the right way. And so really we buckled down together as a couple about 2 months into our marriage, like February, March timeframe. But beforehand, I was like, I'm going to pay off my car quick. And then right after that, we started paying off hers.
Oh, my gosh.
So what was this debt? 2 car loans?
2 car loans, but one was already paid, actually. So just one during the actual debt-free journey. Like the 11 months was a concentrated effort. For me, like we buckled down multiple times throughout the program, and each of those times, like, okay, I'll sell the Robinhood. I'm not making money off of that.
It is.
Did that hurt?
It hurt.
What would you have it in? What were you invested in? Single stocks or crypto?
Singles, yeah, they were up and they were down, but you only lose when you sell, and I had to lose because I had to submit to the program.
Okay. You know what? I love that. He had to submit to the program.
You swallowed your pride and ate a little stupid tax.
Yep. Yeah.
But
You
was
got
it
it.
worth it? Do you miss your crypto and single stocks?
I don't. No, right decision. But yeah, we had credit cards, the car loan, debt to my parents, which was actually kind of like half student loans, and then my own student loans as well.
Wow. So you guys are young. How old are you guys?
24.
24.
Oh my goodness.
24 years old, newlyweds. You just start getting crazy. You start budgeting. You start going. Were people like, oh my gosh, the people that you worked with, your family, did anybody think you were crazy, or were they on board with you?
A lot of people just had questions like, why is this so important? What are you doing it for? Like, what's your reason? So it's cool to kind of give our like reason behind it and kind of get other people motivated to do it as well, especially some of our friends.
What's been the feedback from your friends as you've been telling about this journey?
I think it's been like they're impressed, like they're inspired. The hardest part was not so much friends for me, but family, because no, sorry, we can't go on that vacation. No, I know you'll pay for the travel, but it's a loss of income. I'm trying to work 55 hours a week.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And you're alive to tell the tale, because FOMO is one of the big reasons, kind of the YOLO mentality of, well, I'm only going to be 24 once.
Yeah.
You want me to miss out on that vacation so I can be working 55 hours a week?
Right.
But instead you guys said, well, if we sacrifice for a short time, 11 months, it's going to fly by like that.
Yeah.
We can be free for the rest of our life.
Yes, sir.
I was surprised by how quickly it went at the beginning. It felt like it was going to take forever, and we kept having to say no. But then at the end of the year, I was like, oh my gosh, that happened so quick. Now we can like go on all these family
It's
trips
kind of
next year.
crazy to think about. We won't grind like this like ever again, because we're not going to go back to that situation ever again.
That's right. Oh man, I love that. Just a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. I love that. So what's next for you guys? What's next on the docket?
This whole year we did like a little vision trip, we called it, where we planned out what we want 2023 to look like. And for us, it's trips. It's enjoying our youth now that we had paid off all that debt. Like, we can create some more margin.
Yeah.
And so we'll have the emergency fund done by the end of the year, but we're also going to make time to invest in moments together, since we didn't do as much of that in our first year of marriage.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. So for anybody listening who's your age, newlywed, just getting started, what would you, and then they've got a mountain of debt. What would you tell that person? What would you say to them?
I think definitely sticking to the budget. It's hard at first. I remember all the conversations we had, a few tears were shed, and I was very stressed out, but try to stick to the budget like as hard as you can. I know it's like really hard to be rigid about it, but do it because it pays off. And you honestly like kind of learn habits, and then you just kind of keep them, which is like really nice.
That's really good. Yeah, and it was family meetings for us too, where we could share some of that motivation. We would check in with each other each week and talk about all sorts of things, but finances was always one of them.
Yeah.
And like sacrifices we were going to make. And once you use that snowball, you start rolling the debt forward. It was crazy to see how much steam we could pick up, and like how excited we got. Like I remember in September, we paid off $8,000 worth of debt in just 1 month, which is double our pacing.
Yeah.
And like after that, we're like, all right, we're almost there. 3 months to go.
Here's the home stretch.
Yeah.
And you learn so much about each other, right? As husband and wife, you kind of pick up on each other's ways of communication, good habits, bad habits. So which one of you is the spender and which one is kind of like the saver? Or are you both?
I think we're both naturally savers. I have my seasons though where I like want a new pair of shoes or something like that. But I think we're both naturally savers, and then I do most of the shopping, so he doesn't have to stress about it for like groceries and all that. So
I would agree.
He kind of stays away from that.
Yep.
Smart. Well, you guys I feel like you've matured already as newlyweds, just going through this process and having to adult and go like, oh crap, we got to pay the bills and we have to pay this debt off. We can't keep relying on mom and dad or the White House or whoever to get us out of the mess we got in. And that level of personal responsibility stability. You mentioned you've created these habits now that will stick with you the rest of your life and carry you as you build wealth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was really good to build that independency from like parents and stuff, and just kind of start off like our marriage strong. We did a premarital counseling with his like godparents, and they helped us a lot with the financial stuff too. So it was really
setting
good.
boundaries too.
Yeah,
I think that's what she was leading into, which we would definitely want to encourage any newlyweds out there that are starting to navigate these conversations to have confidence and always start out with, we love and respect you, mom and dad, but we're taking charge. We're setting our boundaries for a reason. It's our money and we're using it the way we see fit. And
I would shed a tear if I was your parents going like, I raised a great kid.
Oh man, I love that.
That's a good point, George. Like in the moment they were not happy about like our decisions we made, but down the road, like the respect has come back, and that's such a gratifying experience.
And seeing how proud they are. Yeah.
That
really
is
good.
so great. Guys, I'm so proud of you. And we've got, our Live and Give It box for you. It's the next step in your journey. It includes a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give that to somebody so that they can learn the same process that you did to get out of debt and change your life and build wealth. And it's got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires in there and a year of FPU. So make sure you take that home with you. But the next part is my favorite part, guys. All right, get ready to count it down. We've got we've got Keaton and Liz, and they have paid off $39,053.18 in 11 months, making $4,800 to $9,000. Go ahead and count it down, guys.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
What a sweet couple.
Man, I'm proud of them. I'm especially proud when Keaton was like, we just had to tell our parents what it was. We had to put those boundaries in place.
And I don't know if it was their parents or Chick-fil-A that instilled just such wonderful, respectful manners, but it was my pleasure to share their story with everyone on air.
I'm sure it was their pleasure as well, George. That is exciting. I mean, it just goes to prove time and time again that these steps work. It works. Baby step 2, it's not easy, George. You got to put your head down. You got to forget about all the voices out there telling you what you're doing is crazy. Well, why don't you spend your money like this? Do you really have to go so hard? But, when you do it, you end up on the debt-free stage.
And they stopped making
excuses.
You're changing your life and money. They went, we can control our income. We're going to go from $4,800 a month to $9,000, working our tails off.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it takes 11 months instead of years.
It's
unbelievable. You have control, guys. You can do this. Whether you're 23 or 43, it's not too late for you. Debt freedom is available, but you got to reach out and grab it and do the hard work.
That's right. I'm proud of them. You guys did a great job. This can be you too, America. All you have to do is submit to that plan, and you could be standing on this debt-free stage doing your debt-free scream. All right, this is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. We're taking your calls about your life and your money. You can give us a call today. The number is 888-825-5225. And it's a new year. Thank you, Lord. And that means, man, you can't be giving up on those goals that you set out to accomplish this year. And if your main goal is to build those money muscles, but you've only been to the money gym once, like everything else, man, it's time to make progress and stop making excuses. Now, I know it can be hard when you don't have a plan or you're starting out with $460,000 of debt like my husband Sam and I did. But if you want a practical, proven plan to climb out from under those piles of bills and start building wealth, grab yourself a copy of the Total Money Makeover. Man, this book is literally the reason that I'm here today, guys. It's the reason I'm sitting in this seat. This is Dave's best-selling book for a reason. You'll learn the 7 baby steps to guide you through your journey with real-life stories stories from people who don't have to struggle with money problems anymore because they followed the steps, and you can too. Let's be real. With you paying off debt and building wealth, it's not just for those people out there, guys. Having financial peace is not just for the people on TV, it's for you. The people in this book did it, you can too. So get back on that money treadmill and order your copy of the Total Money Makeover today at RamseySolutions.com/store. You got this. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. We've got Sally from Columbus, Ohio. What's going on, Sally?
Okay, I have a question. I'm in between vehicles, cars, and I've taken over. My mom has a fleece, so until she's done with that in September, we're sharing her car. So I dropped my insurance when I got rid of my car, and so when I called the insurance company to drop it, they said, well, you can't. What are you driving? And then they had me do some type of insurance where I pay like $55. It changed because it was $43, and now it's $55. Now that then she has full coverage. So do I carry the insurance or do I not?
You're saying now that you've switched over to your mom's car, your insurance has gone up because you're driving her vehicle, essentially.
No, they said I have to carry some type of insurance driving her vehicle, even though she carries full coverage. So my question is, do I carry it or do I drop it?
Have you contacted? Has your mom contacted her own insurance company?
We had both. I think we both have the same insurance company.
Okay. And the car is listed under both of your names?
It's her car. So like I said, it's the fleece.
Mm-hmm.
We live in the same home because she's, we live together.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I should keep the insurance.
Are you living in the same household as her?
Yes.
Okay. They should be, if you're in the same household and you're of legal driving age, you should be on the same insurance as her. So I would see if they can just add your name to her insurance.
That's what we did. We borrowed my dad's car. We were not in the same household, but it was as simple as us adding our name to his policy while we were borrowing his car.
Okay, because I'm going to get one once her car is done. There's no sense to having two cars, so I'll eventually get my own, and then she won't have nothing. But then if she has to drive mine, she could be on mine and drive my car.
Yeah, if that's the case, if you're going to be sharing each other's cars, I would just have both of your names on each insurance to make sure you guys are protected.
Hopefully that helps you out, Sally. You want to make sure you have the best insurance and make sure, just in case anything happens. All right, let's take another call. Let's talk to Stephanie in Rochester. What's going on, Stephanie?
Hi, guys. How are you today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good. I have a question. So my husband and I are in the fortunate position we're in baby step number 6.
Awesome.
We own a property where he manages his business, or we have a mortgage on a property where he runs a business, and then we have a mortgage on our house. And we're in the position where we can pay off one or the other. Which one do you guys recommend?
What are the balances on the mortgages?
Well, the mortgage on the business place is about $89 and some change, and the mortgage on our house is about $95,000. And we have about $125 set aside.
Oh, I love that.
That's great. That's great. So you've got your pick of the litter here.
Yes, and the only caveat with it is for his business, we plan on putting addition on at some point, and we'll cash flow it. So I don't know if that changes which one you pay off first.
Not really. In this case, business debt, it gets rolled into the debt snowball as personal debt. So in this case, I would place that ahead of your household, your personal residence. And I kind of would have treated that business debt like it was baby step 2. So I would go back and use the money for that. Is this the only money that you have, or do you have an additional 3 to 6 months saved?
We have an additional 3 to 6 months saved.
Okay. Then It sounds like you could...
We keep all the business money separate from our personal. So this is just the money we have for the 125 is just the excess we've been rat holing to be able to pay the balloon payment off it would have been at 5 years, but we'll be at 3 years February 1st.
Yeah, I get the idea of keeping the money separate, but at the end of the day, it's your money and it's affecting your personal finance. So that's why I would have thrown it into baby step 2. But the good news is you've got the money to take care of that. And if you wanted to start chunking away at your, personal residence, you can do that too. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, with 125 in there, you can knock out the business mortgage at 89. You'll still have 36 left to throw with your primary, which has 95 left, and that brings your total debt down to one primary residence with a mortgage of 59.
What's your income?
Well, it's changed a little bit this year. But last year we were at like 225.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So you can knock out this mortgage within the year.
Yeah.
So either way, within the next year, they're all gone. All the mortgages.
By the time, I love the sound of that. I don't know about you, Stephanie, but that just made me extremely excited for you. How do you feel about it?
I'm excited. We have 3 little kids, so I'm actually cutting back my hours to be present for the kids more. So this makes it
You have
much
options.
easier.
Yeah. What are the payments on those mortgages?
The one for the business is, I think, $2,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then the personal mortgage, I think the base is $1,500, but we've been paying $2,000 to $2,500 every month.
Wow.
So you guys are about to get a $50,000 yearly raise because you freed up $4,000 a month, just like that.
Wow.
Yes.
And that allows you to have those options to cut back, work less, stay home. That's part of the plan that people forget about. You have so much freedom and options when you just get out of debt completely and you have an incredible income like you guys do.
That's exciting. Man, Stephanie, I would love it if you sat down with your husband and you guys really think about what you're going to do with this new life. That is so exciting to me. You know, I hope that you take this advice. Man, to be debt-free, George, by the end of the year of 2 mortgages or a personal mortgage and a business, that's amazing. That's so exciting.
And then they're going to be able to cash flow whatever they want to cash flow.
They are. People forget about
renovation,
that, man.
Vacation. If it's got Asian in it, they're doing it.
Asia. Come on,
There you
George. I'm going to coin that. I'm going to put the little TM right next to that.
Thank you.
That is great. That's
what
exciting
an incredible
stuff.
couple.
Oh, man. All right. George, you want to take another call here?
Do we have time? It may be tight.
You know what? Let's shoot the breeze a little bit.
Okay.
Because
well,
I want to talk about this. People forget in that situation that we just talked about, the freedom that you get from paying off the debt. They had, what is this, $125,000 sitting there that they could have said, well, this is cushy. This feels nice. And we're making the payments. It's fine. But we want to do something different. We want to get free. And when you start looking at those numbers, it's really something how your life can change. And I don't think enough people take the time to really dream about what their life would look like with no payments.
Well, the emotion side of it is hard to put on paper. And so you kind of get comfortable in your situation. You can afford your payments and you think this is what life is supposed to be. And yet we also see, sky high levels of anxiety and depression across the country.
Oh, yeah.
And that has been rising with debt. And so it's hard to not make a correlation and go, debt is causing us to feel this pain. Well, not all of it, but a large part of it is finances. When you get that freedom in your life, it's easier to have the margin to focus on other areas and focus on your physical health and your relationships because you have the margin to do it.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we know that. It's what you said, George. 37% of Americans say that they're struggling with finance. We know that people are living paycheck to paycheck, but you don't need to do that. You can be free from your money, and we're here to help you do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for this week's episode, for today's episode. And I want you to remember this. You can tell me that you won't do it, but please don't tell me that you can't do it, because when it comes to your life and your money, all things are possible.
I know, that's right.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, and I am joined here by the amazing, the incredible, George Camel. Last time you were illustrious. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, we went down a notch. That's fine.
We're taking your calls today. You can give us a call, 888-825-5225. We'd love to take your questions, find out what's going on in your world, what's going on in your life. We're going to do that with Carly. She's here from Chicago, Illinois. What's going on, Carly? How can we help?
Hi, I'm starting nursing school in April, and I was really just wondering, how do I pay my way through college?
Ooh, I love it. Nursing school in April. So, do you know how much it's going to cost?
It's going to be a little under $40,000 because it's like a 2-year accelerated program.
Mm-hmm.
And $40,000 total over those 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
So $20,000 a year. And what's your current income? Are you able to work while you're going through the nursing program, or?
Yeah, I am. I'm still able to work about full time because I can do like remote work if I'm not able to come into the store where I work.
Mm-hmm.
And I make about like $35K a year after taxes.
So that's your take-home pay. And do you have any money saved right now?
I have like $2,000 saved up.
Okay.
That's not a bad place to start. So I love that you don't want to take out loans and that you've taken loans off the table. That's thing one, right, George? So at this point, it's really just making sure that you are paying your way through. Now, I think that with your income, let's see, how much disposable income after all your bills are paid and after everything's done, what do you have left at the end of the month margin-wise?
About $800.
All right. So there's where we're going to have to pick it up just a little bit because we got to pay $20,000 a year on this thing.
Yeah.
When are those payments actually due?
I have my cell phone bill, which is due at the beginning of the month, and same with the loan I have right now. It's just a personal loan I got like a year ago when I first turned 18.
I think we're talking about the college, how
your tuition.
Yeah, when do you have to pay your tuition?
Is $20K due in April when you start?
Oh no, they do like payment plans, and they said I can choose like what date I want in between, in what date in the month.
Okay, as long as you have it paid by what's the deadline point?
I have to have $3,000 saved by March 23rd about.
Okay. And is there any urgency to jump into this program? Is there something where maybe we could pause, stack up cash, and then start it in the fall?
Well, not really, no. They do it's like quarters, so they do like April, and then there's one starting at in the summer, and then there's one starting in the fall too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. There's options here. You don't necessarily have to start, here coming up in April, because the fact is you don't have the money yet. And if you need $3,000 to start, I want you to have $3,000 in cash to start. I don't want you to have to go into debt at all to do this. So if I'm you, I would put this on hold and get your financial situation in place, get it a little bit more firmly planted so that you can have the money saved up. And if you wait, if you decide that, hey, I'm going to wait a full calendar year, or I'm going to wait till fall, you might have more than $3,000 saved up. So you're feeling even more comfortable about this. How does that sound to you?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
And it also gives you time to really research, are there any scholarship opportunities, grant opportunities? Does my employer offer tuition assistance? Is there another employer where I could still work remotely, make more, and they offer tuition assistance? So I want you to just have some breathing room to dig into all of that and do some homework so that we can cash flow this thing and you can graduate completely debt-free as a nurse.
I love that plan. I love that she's wanting to go to school, but I love that she wants to do it debt-free, but sometimes you got to put those things on hold.
Yes. Hang on the line, Carly. I'm going to send you our best-selling book, Debt-Free Degree. It'll walk you through all of the options, give you some creative ideas, and give you some confidence in this plan. So hang on the line. We're going to get that book over to you.
I love that. Thanks for the call, Carly. Let's go over to Odessa, Texas. We've got Courtney on the line. Courtney, what's going on in your world?
Well, my dad passed away a little over a year ago, and he left me some property, and I'm just kind of curious what you guys advise I should do with that.
Wow. So sorry for your loss. How old was he?
He was in his 50s.
Wow. That's tough. That is tough. So tell me a little bit about the situation. You said he left you a property. What type of property is it? Is it just land? Tell me about that.
Well, it's a few properties. One is it's 5 lots, and it has some like kind of rundown trailer houses, and then it has a few like RV camper kind of things on it, and then 2 commercial properties, and then another property that is like 7 lots, and that has like 4 houses on it.
Wow. What is all of this worth combined?
I'm not 100% sure in regards of like a total amount, but I'm guessing somewhere around maybe like with the commercial properties, I think those are maybe $130,000, and then the land is probably, I don't know, maybe a guesstimate around like $20,000, and then the properties that have the houses on it, I think that my dad paid it was like $15K for it, and so it's probably appreciated in value some, but I'm not sure exactly how much.
So like maybe like 165, 170 for the lot of it?
That's what I'm thinking, somewhere around there.
Is any of it cash flowing currently?
No.
Okay. Are you wanting to hang on to this and deal with it, or would you rather just sell it all and use that money to propel your own financial journey? What excites you more?
I feel like I'm living in one of the properties right now, and so I kind of want to hold on to that at least, because I don't have any mortgage or anything. I just have, like the utilities and the property tax annually. So
that's great. Do you have any debt?
I do have some student loan debt, but I'm working on paying that off. So
how much debt do you have left total?
Right now it's at $36K.
All right. And what's your income?
I make about $38K a year.
Okay. So what if you worked with a real estate agent and said, hey, for now, I'm going to sell one of the properties and clear my debt and get that fully funded emergency fund in place? Would that make you feel better to free up a payment and have that pile of money there?
I think it would, definitely.
I would start there. And as you feel comfortable, start selling more of it off. Unless you love a piece of it and it's cash flowing well, then hang on to it. But, this is a legacy that's left for you to manage. And I think your dad would be proud for you using it to propel your financial journey, however that looks like, whether it's you keeping it or selling it.
I think so too. Man, what a great legacy to leave. And it's going to clear her debt and leave her better off for it. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. George, anytime the price of eggs is making headlines, you're dealing with a wacky economy. But even news about layoffs, an on-again, off-again recession, the crazy high interest rates, there's no reason to give up on your money goals. We're here to give you a plan for your money. Join us on the Building Wealth Live Tour. As we show you how to build wealth and keep it, you can join personalities like Dave Ramsey. We got George Camel, Rachel Cruz. I'll be at one of those in Indianapolis. Then on down the line, we'll be there in Austin on February 23rd. And next, we're heading to the Building Wealth Salt Lake City edition on April 24th. And like I said, it's just a mix-up of the personalities. We got Dave, we got George, we got Rachel Cruz, Christina Ellis, myself, Ken Coleman, John Deloney. And finally, we're closing out our tour in Anaheim on May 2nd. Guys, this is my favorite part. Tickets start at just $49. And all of our fall Building Wealth dates are sold out, so you don't want to wait to get your tickets. Guys, go to RamseySolutions.com/events to reserve your seats for the Building Wealth Live tour. Let's do this.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But instead it's
Man.
Dr. John Deloney. Which event's he going to be at?
You don't
Where can
know.
I see him?
You don't know.
Just don't. You have to go to the website and find out.
It's like the ball that goes through the cups.
Well, people have been like, can't wait to see you in Anaheim. And I'm like, oh, I won't be there, but say hi to Dr. John and Ken for me.
It's a great lineup. I'm really, truly excited for this, George. It's going to be great.
Well, we can't have 19 of us out there all at once, you know?
That's also true. That's also
it gets
true.
unwieldy.
Well, the phone lines are open. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. We got Jake on the line and San Antonio. What's going on, Jake?
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So let me get right to it. My wife and I just got married, and the other night we were doing our budget, and we're trying to combine our finances. And growing up, she just, she's always been frugal with her money, saves her money. She's excellent with it. And we're just trying to figure out the best way to, like, if we should just put one savings account and checking account. She makes it very, she wants to be able to spend her money, and for me to be able to spend my money if we want to buy our own personal items. And we're just trying to figure out the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're having these conversations early and that you're trying to get on the same page. That's really great. Can I just ask before I go too far into it, do you guys have debt at all?
So she has zero debt. I have $12,000 on a credit card.
Okay. And what's you guys' income looking like?
Right now, it's about 112.
It's a good job.
Awesome.
And do you guys have any cash or anything saved up anywhere for savings?
Well, and that's another thing I feel kind of bad about. It's not bad necessarily, but guilty because I'm bringing debt to the table. Right now, we probably have about $55,000 cash.
Oh, my goodness.
That's amazing.
So why not just pay off the credit card today?
Well, that's the thing, man. We just got married, and I don't expect her to pay off my debt,
Well, here's the thing. When you guys got married, you took all of her and she took all of you. It's not just the parts of Jake I like and the parts of Jake that have no debt.
Do you think she's actually like, hey, I want to use my savings that I work so hard for to pay off your debt? Has that been the tone, or is she happy to pay off the debt and set you guys up for debt freedom?
So she wants to be, I just got her introduced to, kind of like the baby steps and everything. I've been following it for a few months now. I've been paying off because I started about $15,000 maybe a couple months ago, and I just got a slight pay increase. So we're doing fine. It's just that, growing up, I think she dealt with a lot of debt in the household. So I think she was raised not to, your debt is your debt and his debt is his debt. And it's not like, oh, I want to have my money and you should have your money. She is all for combining finances. And that, I guess it's two separate questions because, yeah, I know we should just take the money and pay off the debt. But then do we keep a checking account where both deposits go into, and then do we each have our own where if she wants to get her nails done or shop for clothes?
Yeah.
She does that on her
That's
card.
a great question.
Yeah.
And, yes, when you're doing your budget and you're combining finances, I, for one, do think that you should have one account where everything goes in the pot together, right? Everything's in the pot together. And then when you create your budget, which, by the way, I suggest in every dollar budget, you can go through and put your line items on there, and you're taking all of that income that you have and you're dividing it up. You're spending every dollar before the month begins. And that's when you can decide, okay, yes, we both know we're paying the mortgage. We both know we're paying, whatever for the cars, and we're paying for our phones, but you also get to put line items in there for the things that are important to you. So like Jake's haircut, or, your wife's, girls' night out, whatever it is. Self-care.
Fun money.
Yes.
You can create those line items.
Yeah. You put $100 on there for fun money for the two of you, split it out 50-50, and you don't have to necessarily say exactly what you spend it on. So there is some freedom there, but at the same time, it's still a shared pot. Does that help you at all?
It does.
I really think you just need to sit down and have a conversation with her about this, because until you do, you're just guessing. And my guess is if she values financial peace, she values frugality, she's probably going to value you guys being debt free. And until you sit and ask her about it, you're really just guessing. So Jake, I hope that helps you. Thanks for the question. If I'm you, I think you guys need to be debt free today.
Yes, and you're still going to have plenty of money left over, but get one joint checking account. You can have a savings account attached to that. And if you want to let that money grow, you can put the savings in an online high-yield savings account to let it grow at 3 or 4% these days. So that will help you guys get this thing streamlined, and the budget will tell you how those dollars get spent.
That's right. Thanks, Jake, for the question. All right. We got today's question of the day, George. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Today's question of the day comes from Ray in California. He says, I'm 30 years old, make $120K per year, and I don't have any debt. I moved to the USA 4 months ago, and I'm looking to buy a car. I was looking at used cars initially, but the car prices were $20,000 more as I was looking for a reliable car. As the used cars are so expensive, I started looking for new cars, and I finally found a Toyota RAV4 for $30K. The monthly payments would be $517 at an interest rate of 8.5%. Ooh, it is pretty high because I don't have a credit history here. What should I do? I'm planning to refinance my loan after 6 months for a lesser interest rate once my credit gets built, and plan to clear the loan as quickly as possible. Famous last words.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
I just keep thinking of that John Mellencamp song. It's like, ain't that America? I'm like, this guy is already conforming to this American culture where it's like, welcome to America. How can we sign you up for payments, my friend, at 8.5% interest?
We did my guy wrong. We did him wrong, didn't we, George?
Like, he's doing so well. He's 30, making $120,000, doesn't have any debt, and he's already going, I want to go take out a loan.
There's a simple answer here.
Pay cash, my guy. And the used car is 20. Yes, used cars are expensive. They're not going to be half the price necessarily. If you want to get a Toyota RAV4 that's, a few years used, that's your best bet because someone else already took the hit on that depreciation.
Oh, yeah. That's never a new car, George, not when they lose 60% of their value in the first 4 years. Like, they drive off the lot.
While you're paying 8.5% interest, it's losing percentage points every day. Oh, and by the way, you're on the hook $517 every month for years and years.
Just draining the wallet, stealing your biggest wealth building tool.
So our parameters for this on new cars versus used cars: only get a new car and pay cash, by the way, if you've got a net worth of $1 million or more. And the reason is simple. You can afford to take that hit on depreciation as that car becomes less and less worthy. As you drive it off the lot, it becomes a used car that's already less $1,000 less than you paid for it.
I know, right? Just save up and pay cash. My husband and I, we just bought a second car cash, and I got to tell you, we had the money earmarked for it, and when we bought it, it kind of felt like it was free because we just drove off the lot, and it took 8 minutes. We just rode in there, wrote a check, and got out.
And that car ain't getting repoed. You own it free and clear, not a payment in the world.
And it's used. Let me tell you, it's used, but it's ours, and it's paid for. This is The Ramsey Show. What's going on? You're listening to The Ramsey Show. We're taking your calls about your life and your money, so you can give us a call here today, 888-825-5225. But George, before we get to the phone lines, there's something I kind of want to talk about because I see this a lot. People slide into my DMs and, they ask questions about the baby steps. And I have to say, by and large, the questions that I get the most actually have to do with baby step 3. And I think what it is you've done baby step 1, you've gotten your $1,000 saved. You've done baby step 2, you've just like rocked it out, right? You've paid off all of your debt in baby step 2, and you're thinking like, okay, baby step 3, that's going to be just a breeze. I'm going to breeze through that. Finally, I get to take all this money, put it back in my pocket. And they are shocked to find out that it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be.
No.
And in some ways, it's hard. Dare I say, I found it to be harder. It was harder.
Most people say they struggle with this one the most. Out of all the baby steps, baby step 3 feels the most difficult because when you're paying off debt, it's fun.
Yep.
And so here's how I like to think about it.
Well,
it's fun in the sense that you feel the progress. It's addictive. You're celebrating.
Yes. Okay.
Baby step 3, you're not like, woo, another $1,000 in the savings account.
I
should.
I thought I was going to feel like that, George.
But comparatively, baby step 2 is a thrill, and baby step 3 is a pill. It's just like, come on.
Come on, George.
We already work so hard. We're tired, man. We got to keep up the side jobs.
I'm still on the thrill pill part.
So let's cover some basics here.
Okay.
When it comes to baby step 3, we say it's saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's a fully funded emergency fund.
Yep.
Now, expenses, not income. That's important.
Right. This is where people get tripped up because they're like, oh my gosh, I have to save the whole amount of my budget 6 times. I have to save my whole monthly income 6 times. That's not it at all, George, right? No. Can you break that down?
Yeah, so if you look at your budget, not all of your expenses are mandatory. If there was an emergency, if you had a job loss, you had to replace the roof.
Right.
You're not going to be living how you have been living. You're not going to be putting $500 into the sinking fund for the car.
No.
You might cut some of the subscriptions. You might cut some of the self-care, the fun money. And so look at what your bare bones expenses are for 1 month in that budget. And you can add, if you're a gym rat and you gotta, you can't skip leg day, leave the gym membership in there as part of your monthly expenses. Then we can multiply that number by 3, 4, 5, 6, which takes us to the next part, Jade.
Yeah.
Well, is it 3 or 6? What do I do?
Well, here's the thing. It really depends on your lifestyle. There's several things that you want to take into consideration here. If you're single and it's just your income, it's just you, I would do 6 months because if something happens, you're it. You're it for you, right? So if you lose your job, if you have something unexpected come up medical-wise, it's all on you. So let's do 6 months for if you're single. We want to think about health, right?
If you've got chronic illness in the family, I would lean towards 6 months. If you are self-employed, you're on commission, you have a regular income, let's lean towards 6 months. Maybe you have seasonal work like landscaping. If you're a single parent, I would lean towards 6 months.
That's right.
If you're married with one income, you might want to lean towards 6 months. So now the other side of that, flip it to the 3-month side. Who should be saving 3 months? Who can live like that? Well, if you're single and you have no dependents and you have a stable income, think, a government job, something where you're probably not going to get laid off anytime soon. If you're married with 2 stable incomes, you can lean towards 3 months. So if you are a teacher and a postal worker, you should be good.
Yep.
You can lean towards that 3 months. And sometimes the spouse may go, you know what, I'd feel better saving 4. Then let's say 4.
Just do it.
Don't make it an argument.
And you want to know what? I'll take that a step further, George, because I'm the type, even if let's say you're like, 3 months does it for us, but it's just under what your medical deductible is.
Ooh.
I'm like, let's get to the deductible. If the deductible is, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000, whatever your deductible is, I'm like, I just like having that so that I know if anything happens, I know that the savings is there.
Yes, look at all of your insurance deductibles, add those up. So your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your health insurance. And that usually is going to be close to $10,000 or more for most people.
It's a lot.
For me, the minimum for most people in America, I'm saying if you got $10,000 in the bank, you should be good. Any less than that, and it can put you in a precarious situation.
That's right.
So where to put this is the next question.
I love it.
Not the sock drawer.
Not a tin can in the backyard buried.
We've taken that call this week.
We sure did.
So
where's the best place, George?
You want to keep this liquid. Do not put it in one of these CDs. Don't put it in the stock market. Don't invest it. I like to put it in a high yield savings account, which right now the interest rates have come way up.
Yeah, these
now
are
you
not
can get 3-4% in some of these accounts.
I know these are not your 2020 rates. You know what I'm saying? These have gone up.
And it keeps your cash completely liquid. So at any time you can take this cash into your checking account without any fees and penalties. And so that's what you want to look for. And if you're more comfortable having it connected to your checking account with your local bank, that's fine too. The point here is not to make interest because it's not an investment.
Yes.
Your emergency fund is insurance, not an investment.
And I like the high yield savings account because it gets it out of your normal accounts. I like that it's someplace else. It's on a higher shelf. You really got to get on a stool to get to it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just grab it all willy-nilly because some people, George, have a hard time understanding what is actually an emergency.
Oh.
When do I spend this money because Boo-Boo's getting married and she's getting married in the Caribbean and I want to go?
That's an emergency. The latest iPhone 14 Pro Max just came out.
Ooh,
not
come
an
on,
emergency.
George. Not an emergency. These things that we're talking about.
Bass Pro Shops killer sale. Does that count?
No, that does not count.
Here's a tricky one, Jade. The dishwasher breaks.
You can wash dishes, George. There is this amazing thing that you can put. It's a stopper. You can put it in the bottom of the sink, and you can actually fill the sink with water, and you can put dishes in it and wash the dishes with your dadgum hands, George.
Okay.
Did
Called
you know?
out.
Did you know? And you want to know what? Here's the thing. I'm not saying you can never have a dishwasher again, but couldn't you just cash flow it? And wouldn't it feel nicer? Because no one should like to touch their emergency fund. So wouldn't it just feel nicer if you can? Every situation you can't, but if you could, just hold off and not move at the speed of sound and at the speed of light to pay for stuff and just pay cash.
That's right. And there's a few questions you can ask yourself if you're going, well, I'm not sure. Listen, little Jimmy breaks his arm. It's an emergency.
Yes.
You get a job loss. That's an emergency.
That's an emergency.
The car repaired that you need to get to work. That's an emergency.
Yep.
So ask yourself these questions. Is it unexpected?
Mm-hmm.
That would be like a sudden job loss. Is it necessary? Like the car repair. And is it urgent? Like an ER visit. If you can say yes to those questions, then use the emergency fund and don't have any shame or guilt about it. It's
That's right.
there to be used for emergencies. But a lot of people go, oh, it hurts to touch it. We work so hard for that.
I've been there. I have been there. It feels, especially if because I know people listening, they're like, baby steps. Like they do not want to feel like they're going backward, but something happens. I get it all the time on Instagram. Jade, our roof, something happened with the roof. Is there anything that we can do? And people, you got to be careful because people will actually start to consider debt again.
Oh, gosh.
Instead of considering their emergency
turn
fund.
to the HELOC and the credit card and the 401k loan to avoid touching their cash. Oh my goodness.
And George, you brought it up, so I gotta play devil's advocate here.
Uh-oh.
Let me do it.
What did I do?
I gotta get the right voice. George, what about my 401k? You know what I'm saying? I could just use my credit card. If something goes wrong, I'm gonna just, I got a 0% credit card. That's my emergency fund right there, George.
I would say brilliant. Good for you, bro. But you sounded just like them, Jade. It's hard to argue with that kind of logic.
I needed to get a little bit more. I'm just going to pull out a home equity line of credit, George, because I can get it. I can leverage my house and I don't have to.
Anytime someone says the word leverage, I lose a brain cell.
Oh, man. I know that's
God.
right.
Yeah, don't do this. You have the cash to cover it. So here's the deal. It's hard to stay motivated in baby step 3.
It is.
Baby step 1, 30 days or less. Baby step 2, 18 to 24 months. Baby step 3 is another 6 months.
Yeah.
And you're discouraged. There's no immediate reward like there is with paying off debt. You're in the middle of the marathon, and saving is boring comparatively to paying off the debt.
It is.
And you're tired of working.
And can I just throw this in there? You feel like you deserve it. After you've done baby step 2, you start being like, I did all this. I feel I deserve to pull back on the intensity. I deserve to go out and buy me some new clothes. You start feeling that.
Keep the pedal to the metal. You're so close. And once you're there, listen to this. You have no payments in the world and a pile of money in the bank to protect you. It's a force field against life.
Yes.
You're finally building for the future instead of paying for the past. We're at baby step 4. We're investing for the future. Dangle that carrot.
Yes.
You guys are so close. For those of you that are in baby step 3, we are cheering you on.
Yes.
We are here for it. I think we need to start doing baby step 3 screams.
Come on. You're almost to the good part. Get that money saved. You'll be investing before you know it. And before you know it, you'll be saying, I'm an everyday millionaire. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. Sitting next to me, George, Camel. With
That's
a K.
Right. With a K. Don't wear
get
it
it
out.
twisted. And we're taking your calls about your life and your money, so be sure to give us a call today. The number is 888-825-5225. Scripture and quote of the day. For you have been called to live in freedom, my brothers and my sisters. But do not use your freedom to satisfy your sinful nature. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love. Galatians 5:13. I love that. And then Charles Dickens says this: no one is useless in the world who lightens the burden of another. Profound. I like it.
Still hits 200 years later.
It still hits. I love that. All right, let's take a couple of calls, George. Let's go over to AJ in Denver, Colorado. What's going on, AJ?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Okay. So my wife and I have been super loyal Dave Ramsey followers ever since we got married. We got gifted Financial Peace, or the Baby Steps. We got gifted the book and we fell in love with it. We have been dead loyal on the plan. Like, we have our 6-month emergency fund. We're investing.
We lost you, AJ.
We have 3
Are you
What's that?
Oh,
so
we just
you're
lost
saying
you.
you have an emergency fund, you're investing, and then?
Yep. We have 3 kids, and we're investing for their college. We have 1 on the way.
Woo! Congrats.
And we just got our first house last year in February, and we got it on a 30-year mortgage.
Uh-oh.
And we got into a position to where we're like, okay, we're going to make it a 15-year. We're going to start paying, I think it's like an extra $1,000 on our mortgage in order to get it all the way down to a 15-year mortgage. And since we have started doing that, I've gotten 2 pay raises over the last 2 years, and it equated to $60,000 in pay raises, and I'm making $115,000 a year.
Okay, that's
amazing.
great. So what's the question today?
So the question is, our mortgage payment, when you do the calculation, comes out to be 41% of our take home. And at the end of the month, we're saving $600, and it'll be around $400 when the new baby comes. And I just want to know what you guys would do in my situation, because I want to keep the house, because I was the general contractor on it. I built it, and my wife's security gland is going off, and she's contemplating, staying in it for another year to avoid the capital gains tax and selling it, and to try and put ourselves in a nicer financial situation. And I just want to know what you guys would do in my situation.
So you're saying you bought the house with a 30-year mortgage. You're paying it like it's a 15-year mortgage. And by you paying it like it's a 15-year mortgage, it's strapping you because it's now taking 40% of your income. Do I have that straight?
Bingo.
Okay. So the actual mortgage payment you have to pay every month is not 40%.
It's 26% on a 30-year.
Okay. Well, I don't see this as on fire.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would have been ideal to do a 15-year where the payment's 25%, all that. We're already here, and we're looking to the future. This is not a thing where I'm like, you got to sell the house. Right. You guys have no debt except the house, right?
Nope, none.
And you're investing 15% of your income.
Yep.
And you're still putting away some money for kids' college. And you're still able to put extra on the house.
Yeah, you're baby step 6. You're just in baby step 6. You're chunking towards the house. You're chunking towards paying it off. You're doing right. Of course, we would have loved if you had picked a 15-year mortgage that you could afford to begin with. But this is the hand that you have, and I think that you're playing it beautifully. You're paying as much as you can towards this. Now, when the baby comes and things get weird, you might have to pull back on how much that you're putting towards it. But remember, baby steps 4, 5, and 6, they're about intentionality. You don't have to be, pedal to the metal, I must do it now. You don't have to feel like that. So if you're feeling that strapped, just ease up a little bit, take a little bit of a breath, and keep going forward. There's plenty of people, if you ask us, we're always going to say 15-year fixed mortgage where the payment is no more than 25% of your take-home pay. We're always going to say that, but there's plenty of people who got in the game before they met us. You know what I'm saying? And they have a 30-year mortgage. We don't tell those people, sell your house, get out of it, and go get a 15. We don't tell them to do that because this is where they are right now. So this is where you are right now, and it's okay. So does that make you feel a little bit better? Does that make you sleep easier tonight?
Yeah, it does a little bit. This is the only time that really my wife and I have had a bit of a divide on it, you know, to where she's like, oh man, like I kind of want to sell it.
Yeah.
And, you know, because we want to go on vacations, you know, like we want to do that. And
I mean, if you want to,
we also,
if you want to sell the house, if you guys come to that conclusion that you want to sell the house, you can, but you don't need to. Again, and you guys are going, like I said, you guys are going ham, paying double on this mortgage. You don't have to pay double on it. You know, so from that point on, it's really just up to you. Again, this baby step 6 deal, it is not about intensity. It's about being intentional. That's a really great call, George.
Yeah.
Thank you for that call, AJ.
So, I mean, your actual mortgage payment is not 40%. And so I think reassuring your wife, hey, we're going to be okay. We've got an emergency fund. We can make this payment. We're putting extra on this thing. We're going to pay it off. And your income's going to go up over the next 15 years.
I'm just proud of them for being so intentional. It's to the point almost of intensity to where they felt like, oh my gosh, we're not, you know, hitting this on the head. I'm just really proud of them. They're going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take another call. Let's look at Shannon. She's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's going on, Shannon? How can we help today?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my call, guys. Listen, I was just, I've been listening a long time, and I have never actually heard this covered on the show. And it's a specific question regarding the downtime between baby step number 2, getting everything paid off with the debt snowball and the emergency fund. So basically, in a nutshell, we have a $15,000 emergency fund. Before we finished baby step 2, we have a car payment. That is it. We just have a car. It's a $23,000 car. And we have $15,000 in the bank as emergency fund. And the question is, we both know that following the steps, we should be, you know, immediately putting $14,000 towards that car, leaving $1,000 emergency fund, and then just, you know, hustling like crazy to pay that off.
Right.
The question, though, is the problem with it is we are very nervous about giving away all of our savings, knowing that we are in a very, very busy season we have an HVAC that's on its way out probably this next summer. We have a girl that's going to be a senior in high school. We've got proms. We've got senior pictures. We've got trips.
What's your household income?
Our household income's right at $100,000.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, the car's 23 of that, and that's our only debt.
So isn't there a way that you could knock out this debt and hustle up and save up, you know, your 3 to 6 months beyond that after you've paid this car off? And then as other things come, start to cash flow those things as well?
We've done the math on what, you know, if we paid this car, if we hustled and got this car paid off, we've kind of run the math on, okay, here's how long we think it would, because like I said, we've only got 14 to put towards the 23. So we've done the math on, okay, now, you know, here if we hustle, I've already got a side job, so that's already going. If we hustle, we know it's going to take us approximately 8 to 10 months to clear off the rest of the car from the 14 to the 23. Well, then that starts day one of having to build an emergency fund back of $15,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take, by math, another probably 10 to 12 months. So we're putting ourselves out there
12 months
for almost
Dude, you make
2
6
years.
figures. How's it going to take you that long?
I think you guys need to tighten up your budget here.
There's
you guys
some
have
money
a great,
leaks.
You guys have a great income, and you need to tighten up your budget. Look, Shannon, I'm not trying to hate on you, but the things that you described, that's just called life. That's everybody's life. And I can tell you, the folks that work the baby steps, they have college coming up, they have ACs, they have all of the things that you're talking about, and they still choose to work the plan, and you can too. It's going to work out for you. All right, guys, that does it for today's show. Be sure to join us next time. And remember this, when it comes to changing your life and your money, you can tell me you won't do it, but please don't tell me you can't. With Christ, all things are possible. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.